Okay, question 9. The graph of a straight line is shown below. You're asked to match one of the equations given below with the straight line. Put a ring around your choice of equation. You must show your work and I'll give an explanation for your choice of answer. Okay, so we could have a guess here, but they are asking us for a choice as well of answer, what the reason why. Now with this, you've got to remember equations of a straight line are of this form. Okay, we've seen this before, y equals mx plus c. Okay, any straight line is always of that form there. Now when you look down here, you can see they're very similar to what we've got up here. Okay, and one word of caution, right? Just because you see this here, 8 in front of the y, doesn't mean that it can't be this. That could be your answer. All right. It doesn't have to sort of look like this, and it's the same with this here. Okay, there's no c here, there's no value being added on. That could still be your answer. In that case, c could be 0, right? And if c was 0, then it wouldn't exist in the answer. So any one of these is perfectly valid, and it could be either one, really. Okay, so we can't dismiss any one just by the look of it. So let's remind ourselves what this means. The c tells us where it cuts the y-axis. Okay, so don't forget that the c is the intercept of y-axis. Okay, or the y-intercept. So you can see here where it intercepts, where it cuts the y-axis, it cuts it at 1.5. Okay, so we're going to be adding on 1.5. Now, so you're going to have y equals something x. Okay, I don't know what that something is yet, but you're going to be adding on 1.5 because that's what your c is. And you can see here there's some with adding on 1.5. There's that one there, there's that one there. Okay, however, it could still be one of these. Okay, it could still be one of these. I'd sort of dismiss that one now. I would get rid of that one because there's no constant being added on here. This assumes that the constant is 0. This assumes that the c is 0. And that's not the case, right? The c is not 0. It cuts the y-axis at 1.5. But it could still be some of these answers, as we'll see now in a minute. Now, to get m is the gradient, okay? The gradient. Now, the first thing you need to notice here, the gradient of this is going to be negative, okay? Because it's sloping downwards, okay? When you go from left to right, and we should always look at things from left to right, okay? In most cases, anyway, it's going downwards. So it's negative gradient, so we can put a minus there. But to get the gradient, if you remember, you need to have a triangle, a right angle triangle, and you need to look at what the drop is, or what the rise is rather, and what the step is. Okay, now you've got to be careful when you draw your triangle. You need to pick 2 points on the graph that are nice. Okay, now this point here is nice, because it goes through 4 on the x-axis, y is 0. But be careful what other point you pick. Now we could pick that one, couldn't we? Because that looks kind of nice. The trouble is, if I drew a triangle here though, right? Can you see that triangle there and going across here? Now that's going across 4, that's okay, but the height, the drop there will be 1.5, okay? 1.5, 1.5. And I need to be careful because this is non-calculated paper, so I need to be careful that I get the drop right. Now, the other point I found was up here, okay? This one here, there, okay? Because if you pick those 2 points, that point and that point, when I draw a triangle, the drop is a whole number. Okay, so you're actually going down 3. Okay, and you're going across that amount there, which is 8. If you measure that there from -4 to 4 is 8. Okay, so the gradient then, to get m, the gradient, it's always the vertical divided by the horizontal. Okay, so 3 divided by 8. Okay, vertical divided by horizontal, always that. And it's going to be minus in this case, right? Because it's negative, because it's going downwards. Now if I go minus, if I put that in there, minus 3 over 8, you get this here. Now let's compare it to the answers we've got. Nothing really so far. But what I can do, because there's nothing being divided here, I can get rid of that 8. If I just times through the whole thing by 8, okay, times through everything, I'm allowed to do that, right? If you do the same to this side as that side, that's fine. So if I times through everything by 8, I get 8y there. And if I times this by 8, think about it. 3 over 8 times 8. Let's just do that in sort of slow motion. Let me just show you that. So if I times this by 8, notice 8 on the top, 8 on the bottom, they cancel out. Okay, so you're just left with minus 3x there. And 1.5 then times 8, well 1.5 times 8 is 12. So you end up having 8y equals minus 3x plus 12. So there's your answer there. Okay. Part B, midpoint. Now to get the midpoint, right, this is in between. What I would do here is focus on the x values first. So you've got there the x values. Now it doesn't matter what order you put these in, but you've got minus 2 and 2. Let's maybe have 2 there and 2 there. So if I was to look at the x values there, okay, on the number line, so to speak. So I said, just focus on the x values first. Minus 2 is 1 and 2 is the other. What's in the middle? What's in the middle? What's in between minus 2 and 2? In the middle, of course, is going to be 0. Okay, so that's your x value there. Let's do the y value. Okay, let's get the number line going again. So we've got minus 4 and 6. Okay, you don't have to do anything to scale here. This is just to help you to see what is in the middle, what is the midpoint. So here, minus 4 is that value, 6 is that value there, right? So what's in between? Well, if you look at what's in between there, that gap between minus 4 and 6 is actually 10, isn't it? If you think of that gap from minus 4 to 6, minus 4 to 0 is 4, and then 0 to 6 is 6, so that gap is 10. So if the gap is 10, in the middle is going to be 5 along, isn't it? 5 along from minus 4 along 5 will take you to 1. Okay, so that'll be in the middle there. So your midpoint will be 0 for the x value, 1 for the y value.